Hello, everyone. I don't know who everyone is. Hey. Me and Ratatouille are here today to talk to you about CELPE-Bras. I feel like this, honestly, I feel like this whole CELPE-Bras PEC-G thing has become such a big part of my identity. I hope that I do more videos this year so that people understand that I exist independently of what this is brought into my life. Enfim, the CELPE-Bras is a Portuguese proficiency exam, which I took a year ago and failed. I mean, failing is a strong word. Failure is an opportunity to learn, and I have learned things that I want to share with you right now. Primeiramente, you should definitely expose yourself to the language a lot. You're going to end up being surrounded by Portuguese speaking people, but that's not the same thing as making the conscious effort to surround yourself with people who speak Portuguese. I know we have a tendency to stay in our comfort zone. If you know other people in the city that you're in that are from the same background as you might gravitate towards them, and maybe their native language is not Portuguese. Probably not. Probably almost died. But because you're fluent in that, you're gonna, hang around them a lot. And while I'm all for maintaining a community, you actually do need to maintain a community with people who know you from your past and people who you can relate to in the same language. Don't over-rely on them because they're not going to challenge you to speak Portuguese more. Surround yourself with groups of people that speak Portuguese. Let me tell you, I isolated myself because I was under so much pressure to pass this exam in a language I never understood. I isolated myself in the library and just trying to read grammar and write down rules. And I promise you, as quick as that information entered my head is the same happiness that it exited. I never learned a damn thing. I really remember waking up in the morning and thinking, where did the information go? Because it's not in me. The only time I started making real trackable progress was when I got a girlfriend. That brings me to my second point. You should actually just get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a someone friend. That's all you need. I never made progress as fast as I did when I was in a relationship with a native Portuguese person. Honestly, all the progress that I wasn't making for 6 months out of the year, I made in 1 month with her. I really encourage that because you'll want to talk to them, you'll want to be with them, you'll want to communicate with them, and you'll learn so much faster. You wouldn't even recognize that you're learning the language because for you're just spending time with somebody that you love and you're trying to communicate with them, you're trying to relate. That's the best advice I can give you. You're gonna learn it so fast if you do that. But if you don't happen to have that opportunity, then just surround yourself with communities and take advantage of people who tell you, hey, you can talk to me in Portuguese, you can practice with me. For me, I had really cool teachers over here and they'd always be like, girl, it's fine, just speak Portuguese with me, practice with me, don't worry about messing up with the grammar or saying things that are awfully phrased. It's fine, we'll hear you out and we'll correct you. People like that really help because you can get very self-conscious, especially when you're surrounded by people that are constantly speaking the language seemingly perfectly, because I've heard news on the grapevine. I'm not going to point any fingers, but apparently not all Portuguese speakers conjugate verbs perfectly all the time in sentences. And that's another thing that you're going to notice. Even as you practice with people who fluently speak Portuguese, it's not the same thing as learning Portuguese with grammar expectations, which is what the CELPE-Bras is. It's a test to understand if you really know the grammar. So take heed of that warning. You might learn faster with a partner or with surrounding yourself with people, but pay attention to grammar rules. Study those as well. Be careful of people who will want to speak to you in English, will want to insist on speaking with you in English, because that's a rarity here. At least in the small city, small town that I'm in, people have this desire to speak English. When they meet somebody who speaks it fluently, people will see that and want to interact with that and want to test their English, improve it as well. And I'm all for sharing and communicating, but remember that you have an exam that you're trying to pass to prove that you're proficient in Portuguese in a couple of months. So regulate it. Don't let people make that your whole identity. Watch your time. like as you're answering the questions, because the way that the CELPE-Bras exam is structured, I don't know, for me it made me feel like I had really little time and at the same time too much time, because you have 30 minutes to answer the first question and then you have like 2 hours 30 minutes to answer the rest. And like when you're in that exam room, it feels like so much time, because you're thinking like I just have to read 2 pages of informations, like 2 leaflets, and then like I already listened to the audio, they're not gonna play that again. You listen to like the video, which is 2 minutes long, and so it feels like a lot of time and you can get lost in that. I just thought that I can waste like waste is a strong word, but I don't have to push myself to write that hard or write that fast, because I still have time. And I honestly wouldn't advise that. You might not pass if you do that. If you feel like you have too much time, then just try and write it. And if you have time at the end to like space out, do that at the end. Yeah. Also remember, you can only use a black pen that's like invisible. Like those big pens. I don't. Uh, like these pens, they're like invisible all the way through, but get a black one because you have to write it black. During that day, maybe just like buy 5 pens in case you miss one. But if you're lucky, you'll do it in a university where people from the year before donated their pens, and that happened in our year. Like people from the year before donated their pens, but not everyone does that. So how did we get here? I forgot how we got here. Watch your time and be strategic with how you use it. What else? What else? What else? If you have to work, like work, because I know like not all of us have financial sponsors that are reliable 100% of the time throughout the year, and so there are some expectations, at least from back home, to people who begin this program, to start working when you get here. And also there's your own expectations, like to have more money than what the program says that you need to survive, right? Like more than the bare minimum. And that's fine, but just like lock in when it gets closer to the exam. Like there are people in my year that are taking the exam for the third time. They're working and at the same time they're studying. It's brutal. You get tired sometimes and you don't have time to study. And you need to study when you get closer to the exam. I knew this guy in the year before me. He chose to work for 6 months, and then when he got closer to the exam period, he like checked out and decided to just like spend time to study. And sometimes it's hard to make that switch, because like you get used to routines and you think it's fine, I can do both. But it's also risky, so be aware of the risks that you're taking. Like if you have opportunities to work, maybe think about working at the university. Some tools that you can use, of course, ChatGPT, like especially the live chat option. That's really helpful if you feel nervous about speaking Portuguese with people because you're not perfect at speaking it yet. Speak to a bot, speak to a robot, and they're really good. Like it'll help you practice more. Might feel a bit weird at first, but like, isn't that better feeling weird than failing? You can use a servo CELPE-Bras. That's like the website that has different past papers. Oh my gosh, please look up people that have actually written good answers and responses so that you know what a good response looks like in the written test. Listen, nothing is a failure. I just want to say everything is a step towards learning and growing. There's no set path in life. Just because things don't go according to plan, it doesn't mean that they can't be a plan anymore. You're just in this space, this glowing orb in the middle of space. I hope my experience benefited you in one way or another. Remember that you got this. Remember that your teachers are here for you. Keep tabs on your communities. Like we've come from a long way. If you're doing the PEC program, probably you've come from another country that's very far away from Brazil. Or maybe closer, but not Brazil, right? So just you can do that. You can keep tabs on your friends. Hold up, is this recording? I have to be certain. Oh, yes, it's recording. Okay. Will I do this every time? Probably.